of the womb, man, have you made it. But then once you make it out of the womb, unless you want to have an abortion, until you're of the age of 18 or 21, you are not intelligent enough to make your own decisions without a liberal. And even then, unless it's to have an abortion, you're still not mature enough to make your own decisions. So they will make laws for you, except laws preventing you or limiting you from ending the life of an unborn child. That, my friends, according to a liberal, you are perfectly capable and mature, even at the age of 10, to decide for yourself.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
You said in the Rose Garden, the day after the attack, it was an act of terror. It was not a spontaneous demonstration. Is that what you're saying?
Please proceed, Governor.
It is in response to a video, a film. This is in response to a video.
Internet video that we had nothing to do with.
That was spontaneous? Was it a planned attack? Was there a terrorist element to it?
This is a response to a hateful and offensive video.
The video and its influence on the protests that occurred in Cairo and Benghazi in response to this video. It was the video that caused the unrest in Cairo, that precipitated some of the arrests in Benghazi, and it was sparked by the reaction to this video. The video was a precipitating cause to the unrest, specifically in Libya. Might take advantage of a situation that was brought about initially as a response to the video in question.
Natural protests that arose because of the outrage over the video.
You are totally correct that they spent 2 weeks telling us this was about a tape and that there was this riot outside the Benghazi consulate, which there wasn't.
Natural protests that arose because of the outrage over the video.
I was in chronic pain, and my family struggling to make ends meet, food and gas prices going up, even keeping my job was iffy. Then I learned about a new miracle drug made in Washington, D.C., Spenditol. Spenditol is Washington's answer to all the painful problems Americans face. How to borrow $800 billion for a stimulus that didn't create jobs or fix the economy? Spenditol.
Spenditol is not for everyone. Side effects may include a mountain of government debt piled on our kids, a sudden loss of freedoms, higher prices for everything, leaving our kids a lesser America than we had. Ask your doctor or congressman if your conscience is strong enough for Spenditol.
And it's so popular in Washington, we have to import trillions more of it from China. Spenditol makes you feel better now and pushes off the really bad stuff till later, for them to deal with.
Call the White House and Congress. Tell them, stop spending it all.
Feeling lonely this holiday season? Looking for little human interaction? Do you want to feel contact in certain special places?
Then why not go through security at an airport?
The TSA.
TSA agents are ready and standing by to give you a little something extra to feel thankful about this holiday season.
The TSA.
What are you waiting for? I want to check under your testicles.
Spending time with a TSA agent couldn't be easier. Simply book a flight departing from any American airport. When selected for a full body scanner, say no. You'll be pulled aside by a TSA agent, and that's when the fun begins. And you never know who your agent will be.
It could be me.
Or me. Or even me.
But it's probably gonna be us. Take off your damn shoes.
The TSA. It's our business to touch yours.
Welcome to the Bureau of Womanhood Conformity. Independent thoughts are considered subversive because all must agree with our leader.
When it comes to women, preventative care should include coverage of contraceptive services such as birth control.
You see, if you don't believe government should pay for your birth control, you're not a real woman. Womanhood denied. If you refuse to accept that pregnancy is a punishment, you're denied as well.
I don't want them punished with a baby.
If you don't believe that abortions should be allowed for any reason, if you don't believe in aborting a child for being the wrong gender, and if you don't believe that stay-at-home mothers aren't real workers, you are not a real conformed woman.
His wife has actually never worked a day in her life. His wife has actually never worked a day in her life.
Finally, for your safety, if you oppose mandatory government health care, you will die.
They will be voting to say that women can die on the floor.
These standards and regulations were formed after our glorious victory in the war on women. Thank you for your cooperation and your conformity.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show.
Yes, and we are back live here on The Rod Eccles Show. As we march on and continue on. Yes, folks, two conservative Republicans were booted from the House budget panel today by the Republican leadership. Now, read that as John Bonnier. The two most conservative Republicans in the House of Representatives have been kicked off the House Budget Committee, a rare move that can make it easier for the panel to advance a deal with Democrats to cut fiscal deficits. So there you have it. Do I got to say it again? Do I have to tell you yet again how much I dislike John Bonnier? How much I did not believe that he was the man for the job, to be Speaker of the House. I told you people in 2010 when they made him Speaker, I said, that's a big mistake on the GOP's part. And, lo and behold, damn it, again, I'm right. And you don't go kicking off the very people who are going to keep this president from driving this country and its citizens into bankruptcy. Oh, but frickin' Republicans are so scared of this stupid fiscal cliff that they're willing to give up and compromise their very principles. And how do I know this? Because you don't kick off of your budget committee fiscal hawks. You kick off those people who want to drive you over the cliff. Why the hell is Bonnier not making sure that some liberal Democrat who wants to raise taxes by $1.6 trillion doesn't get kicked off? Why is it the two of the people who get kicked off are conservative Republicans, probably backed by the Tea Party, who want to make sure that Americans are not taxed even more. So it can be easier to make a deal with the Let me tell you something. There is no deal with the Democrats unless you agree to them at least 90%. And the reason why I say at least 90%, because if 100% is more than they expect. Well, I shouldn't say more than they expect. 90% is what they expect. They only ask for the 100%, knowing that they can get the Republicans to go for 90%. So no, Obama, he'd love to get a $1.6 trillion tax hike, but he's thinking, you know what? If I get $1 trillion, 1.2, 1.4 trillion, that's great. And then Bonnier offers up $800 billion. Obama's sitting there rubbing his hands together saying, see, we got him where we want him. They're going to come along for another $200 million. You just wait and see. We'll get the trillion. Evidently, well, yeah, I guess the American people are, many of us are that stupid. Well, Bonnier tried. Look, he tried, Rod, and he feels really bad. Look at him crying. Representatives Tim Huelskamp, Huelskamp, now that's a mouthful of a name, of Kansas, and Justin Amash, Amash, of Michigan, both favorites of the anti-tax Tea Party movement, are among those Republicans voting most office against House Speaker John Boehner. Oh, well, that's because John Bonnier, is too busy trying to compromise his principles in order to work with the Democrats and be seen as being a moderate. His Bonnier is more moderate, and he can be seen as being somebody who's moderate. In other words, to the left, yeah, Bonnier is one that can be seen to compromise his principles in order to get along with the Democrats and thus advance the Democratic agenda. Not as easily as the Democratic agenda was advanced under Nancy Pelosi, but still. And if he stands in her way at any moment, it's very easy for us to blame Bonnier. In which case, Bonnier wants to look good in front of the press and saying, no. I am not standing in the way. I mean, hell, man, look at this. We have passed like 300 bills that Harry Reid hasn't even brought up in the Senate. Well, at least half those bills probably should have never even have cleared the House. That's all because Bonnier wants to be seen as, I can work with, he's the House version of John McCain. Yes, I crossed the aisle many times in order to work with the Democrats. And John Bonnier, he learned from me. That's Tea Party people. They don't cross the aisle to work with anyone. No, they don't. Because they stand firm on principle. Does anybody remember what the T in Tea Party stands for? It isn't the freaking drink, by the way. It's not the beverage. It stands for, it's capital T, capital E, capital A. Taxed enough already. An acronym for those of you in Rush Limbaugh's Realenda who are not familiar with such things. Taxed enough already. Now, they've reduced this because every time the press, even conservative press, every time they write the word Tea, the name Tea Party, they capitalize the T only. Now, you see, folks, that's wrong. And by not capitalizing it properly, you're taking away the meaning of this organization. T, the letter T, the letter E, the letter A. Taxed enough already. The Tea Party is a movement, a taxed enough already party movement that stands up for fiscal responsibility, saying, you know what? Government already gets enough of our money. Government already spends too much. We're not giving. We should not have to give the government any more of our hard-earned money. After all, we have families to support.